Many Face. I'm back. What's happening? We're gonna talk a little bit about, certain things that happen with boxing that I've seen over the years by just, being a fan of boxing. One of the things I see is you have habits. Certain fighters have habits, right? And to me, when you're thinking about a habit in a boxing match, habits are things that you do on a consistent basis. Whether it be, boxing, like you're a person that may paw your jab. You could be a person that, throws a lot of left hooks. 1 second. You could be a person that, does things, every match that you're in. And it could be a mistake, or it could be, it could just be something that you do that's habitual, that's constant. Then you have mistakes. A mistake can happen at any given time. So even if it could be a bad habit as you do, it could be a mistake. But a mistake, to me, is you could be a great fighter. Like Floyd Mayweather made mistakes in the ring, and sometimes he paid for it, but he was able to make adjustments. But you can make mistakes. So a mistake, you don't want to be a fighter that makes a lot of mistakes. Then we get down to flaws. A flawed fighter is a fighter that can't do certain things. Like you could be a flaw is not know how to cut off the ring. Flaw is not know how to fight on the inside. A flaw is not knowing how to put your punches together correctly. Those are flaws. A weakness is something that's within. That's something that's internal, like not being able to take a body shot, weak chin, bad stamina, lacking power. Those are weaknesses, man. Poor footwork, which is something you can work on, but it's something within. Either you got good footwork or you don't. Some people, just by their body structure and how they stand and walk, just don't have great footwork. And when you get to a certain point in your career, those things are hard to break, and a lot of them can become habits. And this is why I say, like, guys, like, when I look at Wilder, no matter how much you try to work on his style, it ain't gonna change really, because you can try to change him up, but he's never gonna look the same. He's never gonna look right. He's not gonna look comfortable. That's not what he's used to doing. So I always felt like trying to change fighters in the midst of their career or towards the end of their career is not a good thing. When I look at guys that get beat down and beat up like Devin Haney did on Saturday, right? And I look at how Spence got beat down in July, and I say, those guys may not be the same fighters. And then I ask the question, how many of these guys been the same that we've seen lose like that, knocked down multiple times, stopped, or either beaten real bad to the point where, they were physically twisted, man. How many of them have we seen be the same? Or even come back and be as close to what they once was? I haven't seen Joe Frazier when he fought George Foreman. Foreman knocked him down, 6 times in like 2 rounds? He was never the same after that. Somebody try to use, guys lose, like Pac-Man got knocked out. There's a big difference there. He got knocked out. See, Pac-Man was in a fight, and he got hit with 1 punch here. His weakness was his chin, but he was able to kind of overcome that. But it wasn't like he was getting destroyed in those fights. He just got clipped, being reckless. See, that's a habit of Pac-Man, because we've seen it over and over throughout his career. Sometimes he gets reckless and he got clipped. Aside of that, if he doesn't, that won't happen. Same thing with Lennox Lewis. He got clipped. He can overcome that. He didn't get beat down, beat up, and physically dominated, man, in a match. We didn't see that. Somebody said Sugar Ray Leonard. He lost at the ring. He got beat up in that fight, right? But he was in that fight. They both was banging away at each other. It's just that he fought the wrong fight. You know, you trying to bang with somebody that bang, and that's not your game. So he tried to go in there. He was mentally beaten in that fight, not really physically. Even though he was physically beaten, he didn't get knocked down multiple times. So to me, that plays a part, man. And you know, you can look at Mike Tyson, but he was beat up by Buster Douglas. Even though we know he had an off night that night, he wasn't really the same after that. You know, when he lost to Holyfield, he definitely wasn't the same. Even though he was kind of in that fight, he wasn't really the same after that. You know, he didn't have a love for the sport. He didn't have a heart, and you know, he just didn't care anymore about the sport. And he said it. His words. When you look at Errol Spence, he was in that fight a little bit, but not really.
This is one thing you gotta follow.
He wasn't.
It's rough touch. It's not even.
He wasn't really in that fight, even though he was dominated, and knocked down 3 times. There was something about that. He's, you know what I'm saying, you could tell, like for him, you know, to go down like that, it's like, that's not a good look. And you could tell he was embarrassed, and he was just trying to get his back. We're not going to use the weight as much as a factor as people are using it, even though it matters. I'm not sold on blaming everything on weight. You shouldn't have got in there, man. You knew what you was getting yourself into. You can't make that excuse. Or you should have renegotiated and did better in negotiations to make sure that you weren't weight drained. You know, when you look at Jeff Left Hook Lacey versus Calzaghe. Calzaghe beat him down, knocked him down. You know, I forgot if he stopped him or not, but he beat Jeff Lacey down. He was never the same. He was Chad Dawson, never the same. Another one, you know, Sergey Kovalev, never the same after he got knocked out by Ward. He had to retire. So these guys are never the same. Like Devin Haney, he was still in the fight, but he got exposed. His flaws got exposed, and his weaknesses got exposed. You know, it's gonna take a lot for him to get back, because now you lack punching power, so people are gonna feel like, you know, they're gonna try you a lot more. People are gonna take more chances against you. And Loma kind of exposed you. He used a lot of his footwork to gain a lot of angles on you, and he was able to penetrate your defense and things like that. Your defense is not that sound. Your chin is not strong, and then you're moving up in weight, where you're gonna fight bigger and stronger guys. You're not gonna have that weight advantage. Growing into your adult body, you're not gonna have that weight advantage like you used to. So the weight, it matters, but like I said, when you sign that dotted line, nobody wanna hear those excuses, man. Shouldn't have got in there, man. Like I said, you could have negotiated and made sure that the playing field was even, so you don't have these excuses to make. Same thing with Errol. Saying, listen, I love both of those guys, man. Great fighters, but we can't use these excuses, man, of weight trained and I've been at this way too long, or he had disadvantage, and nah, you got in there, man. I'm saying, that's the risk we take, man. If I'm selling drugs and I go out on the block and I'm expected to go home, but then again, if I get caught up and go to jail, I sign up for that. I can't complain and cry, oh, it's his fault. Oh, if this didn't happen, you knew the consequences or the potential risk before you went out there. And you went out there anyway. So, to me, I don't want to hear those excuses, man. Get in there, that gives you their credit, and you move forward. You work on your skill, your craft, and try to get better. Because you can't really hide it. See, the thing with Wilder's now a gun-shy fighter. You saw that Joseph Parker. You lost a guy you shouldn't have lost to. He ain't the same. It's another one. After what Fury did to him in that second fight, he ain't gonna be the same. You gonna get in there with Joseph Parker. You not throwing your punches like. So, guys, once they see how to beat you, they learn how to take away your best weapon. And if you don't have a plan B, and there's no fear in there, and I can beat this guy if I take this away from him. Oh, and he's vulnerable for this, and he has this weakness, or he has this flaw, or they're gonna exploit it. So that's what I've seen by observing boxing. Hopefully Devin Haney, will, bounce back, get proper training, and, work on, bettering his skill. Because the only way you're gonna master those habits, those flaws, those mistakes, is to better your skill, or that weakness. You gotta better your skill, man. Work on your defense so that you don't get clipped. Be responsible, be alert. Oh shit! Let me get from over here, man. Oh, he's spraying over there, man. But you gotta be more defensively sound out there, and alert and aware of, of the danger in front of you. You can't sleep in that ring. You're going to get hit, but you want to minimize the damage of getting hit. So hopefully we see him and Spence bounce back. I'm looking to see how they look in their next fights. And hopefully we see these guys back in the ring this year. Spence, he's had too many layoffs, man. Here's another almost year layoff. You expect to come back and be sharp. I don't know. We'll see. That's why they get in the ring, man. Anyway, Many Face Publishing, I'm out. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Almost got sprayed by the water. Gotta be aware. Anyways, man. Peace out, man. Enjoy your night. Later.